Hello out there, welcome, Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. Yes, it's that wonderful time of year yet again. A time of enjoying good drinks, singing, decorating, and watching as the children excitedly open their present from Saint Nick to see what toys he brought them this year. And it damn well better be the right one or there will be hellfire on the North Pole. Ah yeah, toy fads. Gotta have that new cool toy that all of the kids on the playground are talking about, or face the complete and utter destruction of what little sliver of a social life you have as a child. And then in a few months when the excitement dies down and the next thing comes around, you gotta do it all again, sinking ever deeper into the vicious cycle. I mean, who cares if mommy and daddy had to murder 6 entire families on the shopping mall battlefields to get it? That's just the law of the jungle. I'm serious, man, toy fads used to get crazy. I don't know if it's quite as much of a thing as it used to be, but in the 80s and 90s in particular, there were tons of new toys and franchises created every other day, eager to become the next Tickle Me Elmos or Beanie Babies. Or even better, the next Turtles, Transformers or He-Man. Big franchises that were easy to make up new characters for in order to sell more toys. Now remember, I'm not talking about cases where a popular show gets merchandise because it's popular. I'm talking about shows where merchandise is the whole point, and the show itself is, for better or for worse, really just a commercial for the toy or the merchandise itself. Usually, toy companies would start production of their toy, and then commission animation studios to create a show based around it, hoping to produce plenty of episodes and enter syndication so they could get reruns, and really just cram that toy into as many kid eyeballs as possible. And while the shows were usually somewhat their own thing, the toy manufacturers were still ultimately in control. They could decide which characters got the spotlight or were written out entirely. They could demand episodes based on specific new hot accessories and all that jazz. And while there were a ton of these toy-based cartoon shows, not all toys actually made it quite that far. And one that didn't was Madballs. Combining collectible toy crazes with gross-out humor, Madballs were released in 1986 and were these little foam balls with disgusting faces and crazy names like Screaming Mimi, Oculus Orbis, Splitting Headache, and stuff like that. They weren't necessarily the most popular toys ever or anything, but still, 2 main lines of Madballs were produced along with a handful of spin-off toys, and the line was pushed hard enough to get a handful of comics and a video game. They even got a few cheap imitations and 2 toy line revivals in 2007 and 2017. So clearly there must be some folks out there who have fond memories of spending their childhoods playing with their balls all day.
Hey, phrasing!
But like I said, despite all of that, the Madballs never got their own TV show. Instead, the Madballs got 2 short animated home video specials, titled Madballs Escape from Orb and Madballs Gross Jokes, released in 1986 and 1987. These were produced by the now defunct Canadian studio Nelvana, who are likely best known for stuff like Babar, The Magic School Bus, and Rock and Rule. You know, fun for the whole family.
The time is right to light up the night.
Sorry.
They also made the Donkey Kong Country cartoon. Yeah, that's a bit more family friendly.
I'd shower you with coconut cream pies.
The animated Boba Fett segment of the Star Wars Holiday Special?
What happened?
Okay, moving on. And I thought since Christmas is a time for toys and I won't have to watch dozens upon dozens of episodes, we could all just lean back, cop our balls tight, and watch some Madballs. Let's go. Well, after a fun, bouncy, and really well animated little cover of Jerry Lee Lewis' classic Great Balls of Fire, we're introduced to the planet of Orb. It used to be a hip-swinging ball of dirt according to the narrator, but has been taken over by an evil ball named Commander Wolfbreath, who has enslaved the inhabitants and outlawed all things fun and happy, including rock and roll. But of course there's still one rock band on the loose, the Madballs, consisting of Screaming Mimi, Hornhead, Dusty Dustbrain, Skullface, and the cartoon-exclusive character Freakella, who is voiced by Cree Summer.
If I ever get my hands on that bad ball, I'm gonna flatten him, then fold him into a teeny tiny airplane and send him flying, hopefully into a brick wall.
You know, if I had a nickel for every time I randomly stumbled onto Cree Summer in one of my videos, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, considering that she's a famous voice actress with a bunch of iconic roles under her belt. What did you think I was gonna say? Unfortunately, one of Wolfbreath's henchmen, aptly named Bruce Brother, overhears Freakella humming during work hours, and he is then ordered to follow the gang to their secret concert that same night. Not that Freakella is bothered by this.
Call me a mophead, will ya?
No, stop!
Dude, you have a bat! Just home run the bitch! Oh, wow, okay. I mean, I gotta give it to this lady. When she says she's gonna do something, she's gonna do it. We're also introduced to Slobulus and Arg, two of the Madballs' biggest fans, who have been working on building a spaceship to get off of Orb, though they don't seem to be the brightest bulbs in the box.
But Arg, what are we looking for?
Slobulus, you idiot man! Like we're looking for a micro-ion compressor to finish the spaceship we've been working on together for the last 4 months!
Oh, yeah, I forgot. What does it look like?
Like, what does what look like, man?
The compressor!
Jesus, I feel like I'm watching an Abbott and Costello bit that was written by Beavis and Butthead but performed by Cheech and Chong. Since the Madballs just cannot play Larry Williams' Dizzy Miss Lizzy at a low enough volume, Wolfbreath and his army soon find the secret concert venue and try to put a stop to it. But, they're not very good at it.
Gotcha!
Jesus, how did these guys ever take over a planet? I don't think they could conquer a bad fur day if they tried. Oh, stop. What, you're gonna boom my puns? Huh, just you wait until the next special. With a little bit of help from Slobulus and Arg, the Madballs escape and get ready to leave the planet in their spaceship. There's just one little problem.
Slobulus can't remember which button starts the engines! Me? You put it in? Hey man, like I can't help it if you can't remember where I put it.
Despite this idiocy, the Madballs do finally escape, but not without ruining Wolfbreath's big monument on the way out, thus ensuring many more years of slavery and torment for the rest of the planet's inhabitants, who now have to start over from scratch. Good work, Madballs.
I'll get your Madballs if it's the last thing I do.
Okay. But why though? No, really. I'm serious. Why? You outlawed music, right? Well, they were the last band on the planet and they just left. You won, dude! Congrats! In 13 minutes, you did what Krang and the Shredder couldn't do in 193 full episodes. Why don't you just lean back and enjoy being an unopposed evil overlord? Meanwhile, the Madballs pick up a live rock concert from Earth on their video transmitter and are immediately enamored by the idea of a world where rock and roll is more than welcome.
Thank you all for coming. In just a little while, we'll be presenting the Cartoons, the hottest rock and roll band on Earth.
Wait, who?
Everybody sing the song, doo-dah, doo-dah. Well, everybody sing the song on the doo-dah day.
That's a pretty big career move for a band that didn't form until 1997, but good for them, I suppose. I also kind of want to question the idea that the Madballs have never heard of Earth up until this point, even though they've played a bunch of Earth rock songs from the 50s, which in turn implies the existence of a Madball version of Jerry Lee Lewis, but I mean, thinking about all this is driving me mad. Balls. But there is a little bit of a problem on Earth. The Cartoons got the address wrong and have somehow ended up in Alaska, leaving the concert runners, Skip and Cindy, in a bit of a bind as the crowd is getting anxious. Wolfbreath is hot on the Madballs' tail, and the scuffle soon leads to the Madballs conveniently crash landing right on the stage. And somehow, not only does this crowd have no issue with not getting to hear the band they paid for, they're also totally cool with a bunch of ball-shaped aliens jumping out of a spaceship and suddenly playing Great Balls of Fire. You know, I've never done drugs, but I still kind of want a hit of whatever they're selling in the back alley of this venue. I don't think I've ever seen a concert crowd be this cool about anything. Man, look at Skip over there tearing ass on the dance floor. Hey, leave some pussy for the rest of the crowd, you Timu Woody Allen looking stud.
3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3. I met a bad bitch last night in the D.
Of course, the bad balls, as they're called, show up to wreck the concert. And after a Scooby-Doo shoutout that is as bad as it is brief, Wolfbreath is about to capture the whole band. Until he makes one fatal mistake.
You too, mophead.
Mophead, wild.
Come on.
So Frikella screams so loud in anger that all the Madballs get blown back into their ship, meaning that an entire planetary dictatorship was foiled because one woman threw a nuclear bitch fit over a mean comment about her hair. So is this scene horribly sexist to the point of being hilarious, or is it awesomely feminist? I have no idea. You guys decide. So, yeah, that's it. Skip becomes the Madballs manager, and I guess they just kinda hang out on Earth now. Hooray! And, you know, I might have joked around a lot and thrown a bunch of shade, but honestly, I thought this special was pretty fun for what it is. Even if we acknowledge that this special is super stock, its villains are boring and many of its jokes are kind of lame, it has the advantage of starring a cast of characters that are just plain fun to look at. I mean, say what you will about the cartoon, but the Madballs themselves definitely are quite striking. And despite these characters not having a lot going for them and no one outside of Frikella really doing much of note, they're still all voiced well enough and showcase just enough personality to be decently entertaining. Slobulus and Ark are definitely the highlight though. I mean, clearly someone was having a lot of fun writing the banter between these two idiots. Madballs Escape from Orb is definitely nothing special, but as far as a quickly produced cartoon that only exists to advertise a toy goes, you could do a lot worse than this one. And so they did. The second Madball special, Gross Jokes, is quite unlike any other cartoon special I've ever seen or heard of. Instead of having an actual plot, it's a 20-minute showcase of primitively animated comedy sketches. For varying definitions of comedy. And animation, for that matter. This kinda looks like somebody watched half an episode of Monty Python's Flying Circus and smelled a way to save money. And while everyone else stays on to voice their characters, Frikella is now voiced by Tabara Johnson rather than Cree Summer. And listen, I don't want to disrespect Johnson here, she's done a lot of work, but quite frankly, this is a downgrade.
Sorry I'm late, but I had to teach a certain Madball some manners.
It looks like a plate of spaghetti.
But, okay, I guess we're just watching a bunch of comedy sketches then. First up is General Malpractice, supposedly a General Hospital parody, if you even want to call it that.
Doctor, the invisible man is waiting for you in the waiting room.
That's a good place to wait. Tell him I can't see him now. Hey, that's a good one, huh, Slob? Invisible man, can't see him.
Oh no, please don't tell me they're gonna explain every joke like this.
That all I can stand of this stupid sketch.
Oh, preach it, sister, I feel the exact same way. And remember, I've only shown you guys one joke so far. I don't know, maybe the poetry corner will be better?
Across a fragrant grassy knoll, it warms my heart and fills my soul.
Nope. Even the special itself acknowledges that this is some bullshit. Well, at least the restaurant sketch should be slightly more appetizing, right?
Waiter, I'd like something that'll stick to my ribs.
How about a glass of rubber cement, man?
No, a little meatier. Oh, yes, this'll be fine.
See? I told you the puns would get worse.
I just love junk food.
Much, much worse.
Hey, I know. Let's go see how Skullface is doing at his new job in the cemetery.
Hey, that sounds like a barrel of laughs. But how do we get to the cemetery?
Easy. We'll just jump in front of a truck.
Okay, I hate to admit it, but I kinda like that one. Look, I don't know what to tell you guys. I'm just kinda commenting where I can, and there's next to nothing to say about the majority of these so-called sketches. The cemetery sketch is too short to build up a punchline, the boring travelogue completely lives up to the name by being a badly narrated slideshow, and Hornhead's big musical number is basically the world's worst episode of soap opera.
After a performance like that, you'll be lucky to get a part in a hemorrhoid commercial.
Oh yes, you know you reached the peak of 80s humor when the cartoon you're watching is casually referencing swollen, bleeding asshole veins.
Gee, Arg, this is sort of boring. Do you know any good games we could play?
Oh, thank God someone finally asked. Here, you can have the knockoff controller.
Well, here we are, gang. Our show's almost over, but we haven't come up with an idea for the grand finale.
Hey, how about the old Madball in the blender gag?
No. We need something that will really sum things up. Something that says it all.
Well, if that was your goal, I think you really nailed it with this sequence. And that was Madball's Gross Jokes. What? You want me to comment more on it or something? What do you want from me? There's barely anything to comment on! I am seriously baffled as to what exactly happened with this one. I can sort of understand the base idea of just doing a bunch of shorts with the meatballs. I can sort of understand the base idea of just doing a bunch of shorts with the Madballs rather than go for telling a story, but combining it with cheap animation that has none of the charm of the thing it's blatantly copying just does not work at all. No one gets a set role in the sketches. No one has a particular style of comedy. The sketches don't go anywhere and are just a hurricane of half-baked terrible puns. The sketches that would kind of work in a vacuum get blatantly spilled out to you like you're too stupid to watch the tape in the first place. And half the time the joke is literally just this Madball smells bad or this guy ate something gross with no actual punchline to be found, and the whole thing is just a total mess. Listen, I'm not exactly a prude when it comes to a bit of occasional crass toilet humor. Anyone who's seen my videos can attest to that. And I guess this tape would have been worth a chuckle if you were a child in 1987 who still thought cow dung was the funniest thing ever, and that's fine. But when you present it like this with basically no effort put into it whatsoever, it just doesn't work, man! Escape from Orb may be a bit by the numbers, but at least it's made by a crew who managed to summon a quarter of a fuck to give about making it as entertaining as they could. And if gross jokes is all they could think of doing after a completely standard band cartoon, then perhaps the world truly was better off without a full-fledged Madballs TV show. So yeah, Madballs really was just a brief toy fad that you can now look back on with a chuckle and shake your head at, wondering what the hell kids of the 80s were up to putting gross-faced foam balls on their Christmas list. I mean, honestly, next you're gonna try to convince me that there was a time in the 90s where kids were playing with, I don't know, slices of printed cardboard or something.
Remember Alf? He's back! In pod form.
Pod form.
Poggers!
Hey there everybody, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, or a delightful December, whichever you prefer. I know this year has been a bit slow when it comes to videos, but thank you so much for sticking around and for watching this one anyway. I really hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, I'd love it if you'd leave a comment below about some of your own favorite fat toys from back in the day. And hey, while you're down there, just make sure to remember to like the video and subscribe to the channel. And as an extra bonus, you can go into the description of the video to find the links to my TeePublic page and my Discord server, which you're more than welcome to join. And as always, I want to say some special thanks to Andreas Wilsom, John Algetz, Warren Miller, John G. Robinson, Silvermoon Ravenwolf, Spatial Paladin, The Danish Penguin, Elinor Strawhed, and Only Joking, as well as everyone else who supports me on Patreon. You have no idea how much I appreciate it, people. Thank you. Now go enjoy your holidays, have a happy new year, and I'll see you in 2026. Bye bye, folks.